Welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ron, your host, and I thought we would go ahead and take a look at the third in this franchise. I guess you probably have seen my previous review for the fourth movie in this series, which was Mystery of the Night Monster. Well, we're taking a look at the third film released in 1998, and this one is called Treasures. This one's actually called An American Tale, The Treasure of Manhattan Island. I had to look up that title. Yeah, kind of a long title for something like that. But yeah, this is the third in what would soon be the direct-to-video films, which were spun off from the first two American Tales. I have the two-movie family fun pack right here, and this is the four-movie family fun pack. Now, I'm going to kind of sum it up. I love the first two American Tales. Well, the first one, not so much. The second one, well, I shouldn't say the first one, not so much. It was very revolutionary. But Five Goes West, you just don't mind that. That's my relatives talking. So I do apologize if you hear that in the background. But yeah. So yeah, Five Goes West is a classic. So, but we're talking about the third movie in this series. So let's talk about the third movie. So the third movie, yeah, I'm gonna put that right there. So the third movie focus on Fievel and his family as they decide. So they meet up with Tony Toboodle, who was absent from the second movie. Well, appeared in a small, brief cameo in the second movie. Tony Toboodle is sort of the main focus, but not really the main focus. But he does come back for this one, and he meets up with Fievel, or Philly, as he's called in the movie. So him and Fievel decide he gets a job working for this guy who he works at a cheese factory. See, in the fourth film, he worked in the newspaper, was a newspaper person. Now he's now the cheese factory this time. So yeah, so that, and he gets the idea that if Fievel joins along. So at the beginning of the film, we get this music number. I forget, something about Manhattan Island, which is actually a wonderful song. But that, and then we cut to him running, and then we get to that. So they decide they're going to look for this sort of. So him and Tony head down to the subway to look for the clue. Yeah, and looking for. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta stop this. Sorry about that, guys. I was sort of interrupted, but I do apologize, guys. So anyways, like I said before, I'm trying to think where I was. Yeah, they're in the subway, so they get out of the subway and decide they want to, they get out of the subway and they give the map to the boss. So they realize they take the map to look for this treasure. And the treasure is hidden somewhere. So now they find the treasure, and they meet up with another mouse, Chichala, I think her name was. So they became good friends with them, and then that stuff. So basically, yeah, and then they decide they have a music number. And then after the music number, she decides she wants to head to America with Fievel, Tony, and she meets his parents, and basically realizing you're an Indian. So we get these three mice who are sort of like businessmen or something like that, and yeah, the craziness happens whatsoever. So. Yeah, and that's pretty much what it is. And I'm trying to think what else. I totally forgot. My memory's so blank right now. I'm trying to think of how else to explain this. So, basically, so they meet up with them, and basically these mice. So now they're doing a mice lynch. No, not lynch, but a mice mob goes after to try to find this Indian. So the cops are looking, the whole citizens or the mice are out there trying to find them. So that kind of thing. It's really hard to explain about this movie that it's just weird, I guess. Tiger appears in the movie as well, so about that. So we get that sort of subplot with him teaming up with Five on them, and yeah, so we also, yeah, I'm trying to think what else. So I forgot most of this movie. It's really hard for me to explain about the movie. It's really, direct to videos is just kind of really there, I guess. I think that's really, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, yeah, this movie was decent. I do like the animation. It was done by TMS. I think it's TMS. They were also the people who, at the time of this, when it was made, they were doing the overseas animation for the New Adventures of Batman and Robin for Kids WB. So it has that very feel. So it has that feel, I think. And it's interesting, yes, but it's, yeah. Let's actually run down the cast. So, in the first two films, Five was voiced by Philip Glasser. For this one, Thomas Dekker. They get Thomas Dekker. So, the cast included are, like I said, Thomas Dekker. Lacey Chabert appears in it. She plays Tanya Mouskowitz. Pat Muska, who is Pat Muska, who is the voice of Tony Toboodle. And Dom DeLuise, who is Tiger. So the new cast in this included is Ron Perlman, Tony Jay, bunch of other voice casts. Jim Cummings appeared in it though. I don't know who voiced the T'Challa, the mouse in this, but yeah, it was the hardest movie to really talk about. So the animation's really good. There are a few positives I do like. Some of the songs were okay to not bad. There are only 3 songs. Although I forgot to mention that the music in this, that they use some of the music cues from the first one. I did like at the beginning of the film where Fievel says he's a gunslinger. Obviously a reference to Fievel Goes West. So yeah, most of this isn't really much focused on Fievel. Most of the time it's Tony that gets the main spotlight. Also, the one song they sing goes out of nowhere. So Fievel and Chala are singing this number. I forget what the song is, so they're singing in it, and all of a sudden it's just padding to the point of he's just running, and then they try to do slapstick, but it's just so odd. This movie is just odd. It's really hard for me to explain. I do like some of it, and it's not terrible, but it's certainly better from my experience with number 4. Number 4 was just dreadful. This one, at least, not terrible. I actually think this is a fine but flawed movie. The cast, like I said, Thomas Dekker isn't a bad Fievel, but I felt Philip Glasser had more meat in the performance. So yeah, I don't really have much to say to this. The ending is bittersweet. They get this sort of thing where, I'm just going to tell you right now, Fievel and gang decide to throw tomatoes at the cops. There's an interesting scene where they take the gunpowder and they light it, and all of a sudden the water fills up and it becomes all muddy. So they're searching, thinking the fire was done. He pops out of the mud, totally doused in mud. So that's kind of a cute little scene. But yeah, aside from that, it's another sort of generic direct-to-video film. It's, like I said, it's not terrible, but like I said again, the end credits is just a black screen with text. That's it. You can tell it's direct-to-video like that. Like I said, this movie was released in '98, but according from what I've read on Wikipedia, it was released I think it was released on home video in February 2000. Maybe got released onto TV in 98 and then released the video in February of 2000. So, yeah, I could sort of recommend this, but honestly, if you really had to watch this series and you really want to see this series, I would probably say sort of skip the first three and just go watch the much better Five Goes West. Or if you want to see how it starts, just stick with the first two. But if you want to see where the series continue, I can probably kind of sort of recommend the third. It was a much better experience than the fourth. The fourth was just one giant dumpster fire. And yeah, I can't really say much about that though. So yeah, but yeah, like I said again, not terrible. So I don't really have much to say. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think I mentioned everything. Sorry the review wasn't really much of me talking, but it wasn't really much of that review, but yeah. So yeah, let's just rate the film. Surprisingly, I'm gonna give Mystery of the Night Monster a 3 out of 5. It's not terrible. Like I said, this is not a bad movie. I actually kind of sort of like it. Now, this was my second viewing, I forgot to mention. I kind of I can sort of recommend the third movie. It's average, but it's not terrible. If you do want to watch it, I guess I'm not going to stop you from watching, so I'm sort of recommending it. But, yeah, I don't really have much to say after that. Like I said, it's just direct-to-video. It's just direct-to-video animation. So, that is my review of An American Tail, Treasures of Manhattan Island. I'm sorry if I said Night Monster, but it's Treasures of Manhattan Island. The Treasure of Manhattan Island. Well, thank you guys so much for watching that review. If you do like the content in the channel, you can always you can subscribe to my channel, click the bell. If you want to click the like button, you can do so, if you want to. But more than less, follow me on Letterboxd. I do cover a lot of movies on Letterboxd. I rate a lot of the movies, so you can check me out there. Let me know what you guys think of Treasure of Manhattan Island. If you do like that content, if you do like that, let me know what you guys think of the movie. So, yeah, I'm going to say good night, and as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.